Communication is the foundation for most human interaction. Communication refers to sharing of thoughts, needs, and emotions that help to foster closer ties between people. People can convey themselves through various mediums such as words, signs, gestures, pictures, or body language. To engage in communication, children have to display some language skills by the end of their first year. Parents need to take notice of their children's language skills. This is because language ability is predictive of future skill developments such as cognitive, social, and emotional skills. Some children can display spontaneous speech production, while children with ASD tend to have a delay in this development. They will require some intervention to catch up with their relative peers. The lack of functional language can be a major stressor for parents. Children may display challenging behaviors when parents are unable to understand their needs. Such behavior puts a strain on the relationship between parent and child when both are unable to communicate well with one another. Preceding the children's language development, there are two transitions they go through in the first few years. Number one, intentionality. This refers to children making requests for things they want either by gesturing or pointing and displaying shared interest in the items by making sounds. Children with ASD may exhibit lesser intentional communication as compared to their relative peers. This is because they may be more focused on other things going on around them or prefer to engage alone. Hence, ABA approaches focus on mending, wherein children are taught to request items that they want. ABA's approach to communication intervention makes use of children's preferred toys and activities to ensure that the session itself is self-reinforcing to the child. Eventually, the therapist would wait for the child to initiate the request by gesturing or indicating interest in a desired object or activity. Number two, symbol understanding and use. This refers to the ability to understand what a sign is and the meaning associated with it. The second transition is usually understood by the children through step-by-step learning rather than through observations. This is broken down into smaller fragments for children to build upon their receptive language skills. The impairment in symbol formation during the development of children with ASD could be one of the few reasons for their delayed language abilities. Therefore, it is best to engage in more symbolic play for older children with ASD to expand their language abilities and other developmental milestones. This set of skills supports the development of communication in children with ASD. Pre-verbal and non-verbal children can make use of pictures or objects to represent and symbolize their expressive language abilities. Functional communication is how individuals convey their needs and wants and socialize with others. Functional communication does not have to be limited to verbal communication. It can also include sign language, gestures, non-verbal cues, or the use of pictures. Having better communication can foster closer ties and stronger relationships between parents and children. Some examples of communication strategies include: Number one, sign language. Signing is useful for helping children with ASD to understand language. In comparison to spoken words, children will provide information in visual form. This supports the transition to making first words for pre-verbal children with ASD. This is similarly practiced in our ABA verbal behavior therapy at ARN, wherein children are taught simple signs such as eat whenever they are requesting for food. Moving on from here, children will slowly transition from signing to making vocalizations of the sound E to associate it with eat. When they are able to produce E sounds without any prompts, the therapist will teach them to say eat and fade out the signing. Number two, communication boards. Make a communication board with pictures, illustrations, or symbols. This can easily be made using a bulletin board. The children can simply point or gesture at the images to express themselves and their needs. Number three, gestures and body language. Children may learn to understand and communicate through non-verbal cues. Teach the child to point to desired objects or lead the caregiver to what they want. The child may also express how they are feeling through facial expressions or body language. Number four, emotions chart. Children with ASD may find it difficult to express how they feel. Using an emotions chart with visuals can help them to communicate their feelings functionally. Visuals can help the children to process and express their emotions in healthier ways. To help children develop a better understanding, parents and caregivers can model this to them. There is no single best method to improve relationships with children with ASD. However, the first step to understanding them would be developing their language skills and communicative abilities. There are several methods to improve communication through signs or pictures. These children are open and responsive to the available treatments. These different forms of teaching functional language have been shown to be useful in enhancing communicative behavior. Parents are encouraged to stick to a single method first to avoid confusion and regression on the children's abilities. The process will require time and consistent practice. Parents should remain patient and continue trying their best to understand their children to maintain a good relationship with each other. Here at ARN, we help the children under our care to develop key communication skills and foster better relationships. If you have further queries, do contact us through the information on the screen. Remember to support us by liking this video and subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with our caregiver hacks. Until next time, bye!